Hello there and welcome. My name's Sean Terry here, and I am coming from Phoenix, Arizona right now, and I am pumped to deliver this information here that I'm about to cover. We got a ton of information. I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to go quick. So if you are a real estate investor, you buy and hold properties, you fix and flip properties, or you wholesale properties, or maybe you want to get in real estate, but you don't know where to get started or how to get started or where to find leads or understanding the process, then you are in the right place because right now I'm going to share with you an 8-step process, a unique 8-step process, simple, that we have perfected on doing deals all across the entire country. I'm going to show proof of exactly what we're doing. I'm going to give you example of properties that we have transacted and closed all via an assignment contract all across the entire country. In every small market, large market across the country. Plus, I'm going to share with you what is happening in the real estate market, right? You know, it's 2021. We have a new administration. We have this ridiculously on fire real estate market. We have low interest rates. What is happening and what is going to happen? I get people reaching out to me all the time on social media going, what is going on and what do we do and what is happening? I'm also going to share with you of what is about to come when this foreclosure moratorium that is lifted. We don't know exactly when it's coming, but there is something coming, and it's a tsunami that's about to hit. So what if you could position yourself in front of the tsunami following this unique 8-step formula that I'm talking about and literally, make a massive difference financially in your life where you could be, I'm talking about set up. Now, opportunities like this only come once in a lifetime. I've been in doing business for 17 years in real estate investment, primarily wholesaling here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I have never, and I've studied real estate market, looked at real estate markets before, looked at 1992 and that whole debacle, 2001 and that whole situation, 2008 and that situation, and now we are here, but it's completely different from the from the previous recessions that we've had. The previous real estate markets that we've had. So I've got a ton to cover, and I've got some cool free information, downloads, not really information, free, actually these things. This is how you transact all across the country using these 2 free downloadable contracts. I'm going to give you a link at the end of this. These are incredibly valuable. I got people that ask me all the time for this. It's like my coveted real estate contracts that we use to do deals all across the country. And I'm going to give them to you for free at the end of the training. I'm going to give you a specific link that you can download these. You can modify them, change them. They're actually in Word document format that you can download them and use them across the country, understanding what we're talking about, but also then you can have these tools to be able to help you do deals across the country. So if you're ready, I'm ready. But what I'd like you to do first is just shut everything down. Focus with me here for just 25, probably 30, 40 minutes here. And I'm going to break down everything on exactly what to do. So my mission on this training right here is to give you, first off, where we are in the market so you have an understanding of where we are, and then you'll understand the opportunity of what we're sitting on right now, and then give you a business model that you can dive into. And it doesn't matter if you're a buy and hold real estate investor, fix and flip real estate investor, whether you're a wholesaler. Obviously, if you're a wholesaler, you're going to just freak on this and what we're talking about. because it's going to expand your world. But the bottom line is, I'm going to give you a business model that you can dive into and capitalize on this, and it's literally going to change everything. So shut everything down, focus with me here, and pay attention to what we're talking about, because you don't want to miss what we're about to share, what I'm about to share here. It's going to be awesome. So let's get into it right here. We got some questions that I want to answer. Number one, why is the real estate market on fire during a pandemic? You know, I get that question all the time, and we're going to explain the data behind it, where we're about to come, and is the cards about to fall? Is something going to happen? Is something going to crash? Will the real estate market crash in 2021? Are we in a bubble, right? You know, and we'll look at the data and see what's behind it. So the next one, will there be a big opportunity when the foreclosures hit? Well, it's interesting. If you've ever heard of what's called the butterfly effect, the butterfly effect, I'm gonna relate that to where we are right now in this perfect storm. But if you're not positioned correctly, you could miss out on an opportunity that could that is historic, literally like I've never seen before, even studied before in previous. Now, I'm also going to talk about how to make $775,457 day trading properties, and that's a specific number. I'm actually going to tell you why that's a specific number, and I'm going to show you why, proof it's a specific number. But I'm going to talk about how to day trade properties nationally following this simple but unique 8-step process. And I'm going to go in detail. I'm going to show you marketing campaigns. I'm going to take you into marketing campaigns, actually into websites, marketing campaigns that we're getting leads for in the $30 to $40 a lead. Now, if you've been involved in wholesaling or lead generation at all, you'll know that in the major markets like Phoenix, Vegas, Dallas, Austin, Houston, you know, if you're in Chicago, Atlanta, cost per lead is skyrocketing right now. People are paying upwards to $400 to $500 cost per lead. So if you're looking at what we're talking about, you know, $30 to $40 cost per lead. It's completely unheard of. And what if I could show you, or what if I could actually, I'm going to show you tonight, what if I could show you where there was no competition? Now, you know, previously, you know, I was locally here doing deals in wholesaling houses in Phoenix for 17 years. And the market became so competitive. We actually do deals in Vegas too. But the markets became so competitive that a seller was talking to 4, 5, 6, 10 people. You talk to a seller, they'd have a stack of mailers and postcards from other wholesalers attempting to get that deal under contract, hoping that the seller would pick their mail piece out of the stack. But the problem is they're calling, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, and now you're in a bidding war. What if I could show you, right? And I'm going to show you here, no competition. I'm talking direct mail response rates in the 3, 4, 5% range, which is unheard of. Like I said, if you've done any marketing before, any direct mail before, you're going, that's impossible. I'm going to show you tonight how that is completely possible following this 8-step process. Now, check this out right here. These are wires coming into our account. Now, I just want to be clear. These are all into my account. These are wires that are straight assignment contracts. Now, if you've been wholesaling before, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? These aren't, I didn't close on them and then resell them. These are specifically assignment contracts. First one, 148,000, then 25, then 120,000, 23,000, 14,000, 25,000, 4,500, 27,000, 17, 100 and not, what is that one? $100,000. $39,000, $60,000, $11,000, and $159,000. So if you look at that, that's $775,447. in about 40 plus days that we close these specific contracts. Now we're doing deals every single month, month in, month out, doing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in revenue. I mean, just this 2-week pay period, we did, just under $200,000 in revenue, just this 2-week pay period for my team that we put together right now. So the bottom line is we're doing deals all across the country. That is my proof of what we're doing, and why you should listen to me, why you should stop everything you're doing. And I'm gonna show you how to get assignment fees like this all across the country. Now, we've never closed on the deal. I haven't had to raise private money. We haven't had to do double escrows or triple escrows or anything like that. I never had to use transactional funding. It's using these 2 downloadable contracts to be able to transact all across the country via an assignment agreement, right? Listen, I'm telling you, don't go anywhere, because first off, you're gonna want these contracts, number one, and number two, you're gonna wanna know exactly what we're doing, because here's the thing. I've been doing this for 17 years. I've been teaching now for 10 years. Teaching since 2010. Well, so we're going into 2021 now. 11 years. Now, I know most of the real estate educators out there. Most of them, 90% of them, don't do real estate. They don't. They teach, but they don't do real estate, right? There's a small percentage that actually do real estate and teach. And I cannot be a person that doesn't teach and doesn't do real estate and teach. I have to, that's my primary source of income. I make way more money doing deals in real estate and buying apartment complexes and stuff like that than doing this. I just love teaching, because there's nothing like changing someone's life. And I'm going to show you examples of people that have followed this 8-step system, and their results are astonishing. Astonishing, right? So, who am I? Maybe you don't know me. Who is this guy? Well, first off, I'm a God-loving man of 2 beautiful daughters, happily married for the past 23 years. Been flipping houses. Now, I've fixed and flipped hundreds of houses. That is a gamut. Yes, you can scale it, but are you talking about when I fixed and flip houses, I literally had to cut checks every single Friday to contractors for all the deals we've done. So I've basically, for the last 17 years, have wholesaled houses, fixed and flipped houses, bought rentals, had 120 rentals, $36 million at one time, have done over $300 million worth of deals, currently doing anywhere from 15 to 25 deals a month all across the country. And then my passion for education. I love 2 things, other than my, family and God, is that I love teaching, and I love real estate, doing deals, putting deals together, figuring out that whole situation, and then teaching. Those are my 2 passions when it comes to business. Absolutely love it. But I started a podcast in 2010. Currently, we have over 12 million listeners in 196 different countries. That spurred off into what's called an online academy, the Flip to Freedom Academy, with 9 best-selling courses with over 20,000 plus members. Best-selling author, and currently owns 760 student housing units across the country. We bought through syndication and different partners, and it's been an incredible experience buying large multifamily properties. So currently live in Phoenix, had a house in Dana Point, sold my house in Dana Point here recently because California got a little crazy on me, and they got all this crazy tax stuff going on, so I'm like, I'm out of there. All right, so also too, I'm gonna give you a free gift. And these 2 contracts are incredibly important. You have your purchase contract with real estate, an assignment contract. These 2 contracts will make the absolute difference. Now, I can tell you that I didn't understand. You're probably wondering, why are these two condos? Why are they so important? Why is it so important? Well, back in 2003, I was 33 years old. I had a brand new daughter. I mean, she was under a year old, and her name's Alexa. Now she's 22 years old. And I spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps. I got out of the Marine Corps. I got involved in this, other marketing company, and I found myself bartending. And, I bounced around from career to job, and I didn't really, find my niche, until I found real estate. I was in a situation where, I was working and living month to month. And at the time when I discovered real estate, I was working in a pool and landscape company, and I was actually going out to people's houses, and I would design pool and design landscape on actually AutoCAD. I would have to draw on AutoCAD, and that I bid the whole thing out. And it was frustrating. I mean, I was working 7 days a week. I was going on appointments all across the entire valley. Of anybody who wanted a pool and landscape quote, I was there. And I happened to work for a guy who, always tried to screw me out of commissions. Meaning I would bid this thing perfect, and I'd take it to him, and he'd always inflate the cost of what it would cost for the pool, and I missed this and missed that. So I thought I was getting X commission, and I ended up getting Y commission. I just did not like it, especially in the summer. You're outside in Phoenix, Arizona, it's 110 degrees out, and you're trying to map out this pool in the backyard and sit with the seller. And I'm not the most creative person. My wife is incredibly creative, but I'm not at all. So I'm trying to design this yard. When it came to pool and landscaping, it was not my wheelhouse whatsoever. But I found myself at 33 years old. I found myself a tough situation. I had bad credit. I was living month to month. I had zero credit cards. I had a Capital One credit card for $250. No, it was a First Premier. That's right. They had the First Premier credit card for $250. My wife had a First Premier credit card for $250. And I had zero stability. I was hoping that I could get through the month to the end of the month, and every month was a survival. Can I make it? I make it to the end of the month and I pay the bills, or maybe not pay the bills, and rob Peter to pay Paul, and it was a tough situation. And I was just remember, waking up at 33 years old, and I did great in school. In high school, I did great in sports, but I didn't do good in school. I was like a CD student. All my friends went to college. I'm originally from New England. They all went to Ivy League schools, and I went in the Marine Corps, which was an incredible experience. It literally changed my life. It was amazing. But, when you get out, as an infantry type of person, there's really not a lot of positions for a grunt, right? So I got out and I went from job to job and tried to, figure out what to do, and maybe, tried to go to school. And I took a couple classes. I remember I took an accounting class. That thing was way over my head. I was like, I can't do this. And, so I'm 33, struggling, depressed almost, of like, what am I going to do with my life? And my wife saw that. She saw I was depressed. She saw I was like, man, you got to do something. What are you going to do? And she goes, well, you talked about real estate. You loved real estate. You talked about that. Why don't you get back into real estate? And I was like, oh, okay. So I bought a book. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? And it was a great book, incredible book. But it talked about listings. You got to get listings. The more listings you get, the more money you make. And it just didn't resonate with me. I remember I was like, I don't want to be a real estate agent. Although real estate agents, and we work with a ton of real estate agents in our business, and they're great people and they do awesome things. My wife is a real estate agent, but for me, it just did not fit what I wanted to do. And not that I should be picky, right? Because I was doing pools and landscape. But the bottom line is she put the seed of real estate in there, and I was like, okay. So I started thinking about it, and it's amazing when you start thinking about something things and opportunities appear. You buy a car, next thing you know, you see that same car everywhere, right? It's called the reticular activating system, now that I know what it is, right? Big word for it. But the bottom line is I was on a pool and landscape appointment. I was driving to a pool and landscape appointment after I read this book. It was a Saturday afternoon, and as I was driving down the freeway, I was flipping through the radio stations, and this was May of 2003. Now, there's no sports on in May of 2003 on the radio. So I'm flipping through, looking for something to listen to as I'm driving. It was like 30, 45 minutes away down the 101 loop, out to Estrella Park is where I was going for this appointment. And as I was driving down the freeway, I tripped across this radio station. It was called 1510 KFNN. It was a financial news radio. It's still on today here in Phoenix. And they started talking, it's a financial news show. And there was a guy on there talking about real estate. And he's talking about doing deals. And he's talking about flipping houses, right? And I was like, okay. And he started talking about this concept, right? We're going to talk about this concept and how you could flip houses using no cash, meaning you don't have to have funding, you don't have to have cash, you don't have to cut a check, you don't need a down payment, right? No cash. And you didn't have to have credit, meaning you didn't have to get credit or pull a loan or have your credit checked. And at the time I had no cash, and at the time I had terrible credit. So I thought that's what you needed to make money in real estate as an investor. So what he kept on talking, he started talking about this concept of equitable interest, which I'll explain here in a second. But what happened was he talked about, and he had people on that were telling their story of where they made a $5,000 check in 30 days or less following this concept. And then he had someone else that came on and told their story, and they made I think it was $14,000, $15,000 with this concept, right? Using no cash or credit, right? And then he had this other person on, and it was $20,000. The person made over $20,000, and I think it was 45 days from getting started, following this concept that he talked about. Now, I'm originally from New England. My dad was a police officer, police chief, police officer for years. And he was great at being what's called the devil's advocate, right? He could find the negative side of everything. So what did I do? I took on that trait. So I remember I'm driving down the freeway, and I remember thinking to myself, now think about this, I'm 33 years old, I'm selling pools and landscaping. My credit sucks, and I have a Capital One credit card a First Premier credit card for $250, and my wife has one. So I'm broke, right? And I'm listening to this guy, what he has to say, and I thought to myself, what a scam. What a joke. Who's going to listen to this? You can't do that. You can't. The concept, what is he talking about? You can make that much money doing real estate. I couldn't fathom what he was talking about. And it was interesting because I thought you had to have cash and you had to have credit to be able to make money, because you had to buy a house, fix it, and sell it. Well, you got to buy a house, takes cash and credit. You got to fix it, takes cash, and you got to sell it. You got to hold it, that takes cash. Or you got to buy it and you got to hold it and then rent it, right? That's where I thought the opportunity was in real estate to make money. But here's the thing, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I was closed-minded. I was closed-minded where, if your mind is closed, it's like a parachute. If it's not open, it doesn't work. And my mind was closed, and it didn't work. It didn't work. And where was I? Who was I? I'm sitting there questioning this guy thinking, oh my goodness, what a scam. Who's going to listen to this? And I'm broke. Imagine that, right? What was I thinking? So I challenge you, right? You might be looking at me going, hey, who's this guy, sitting there talking about all this stuff. Who's he? Well, I'm about to show you. I'm about to go through it. I just showed you proof of what we did in about 40 days of revenue for the company. And that's just that. We've made millions and millions and millions of dollars wholesaling houses, flipping houses, right? Not only in Phoenix, but all across the entire country. All I do is challenge you is just what if? What if I'm talking about is true, right? Just give me the benefit of the doubt. Follow me here, what I'm about to talk about. And I'm going to lay this thing out and explain exactly in detail. But the bottom line is he explained this concept, and I'm going to share with you tonight this concept on what it is using these two. I'm actually going to give these to you. And it changed everything for me. And if I get one person, one, that goes, oh my gosh, and they get it. Now, I've been doing this for 10 years, right? And I have a mass amount of success stories from people like Tyler White's, an incredible guy out of North Carolina. You know what he used to do? He was basically a bug guy. He would go around to people's houses in North Carolina selling, bug service where they can go around and spray your house for bugs. He made $50,000 a year. He got started what we're talking about, started listening to what we're doing. Now the guy makes millions and millions of dollars, bought a brand new house, beautiful family, works for himself, has a huge company, and crushes it. Crushes it, right? Nick Perry, another gentleman, incredible dude. He's out of Austin, right? Same type of thing. The guy was working at Indeed. That's what his job was. That's what he did. You know what? He got started. He started following the concepts. He got up and going. Changed his life. Now the guy's doing millions and millions of dollars in revenue following what we are talking about. Scott Oots, right? We just did an event with him here recently. Scott Oots, amazing gentleman. He came to me. He had a cell phone business selling cell phones on eBay. He got sick of that. He had 3 fix and flips that he was trying to do, and he was losing money on all 3 of them. Sat down with him, showed him this concept, showed him what we're talking about, showed him the 8-step process. And guess what? 5 years later, last year he did $5 million in revenue. $5 million. This is serious. This is what I'm talking about. So pay attention to what we're about to talk about here, because it's about to get into some serious detail. All right, so why is the real estate market? Now, I can tell you this is different, right? Why is the real estate market on fire during a pandemic? That's a question I get all the time. And I'm going to talk about where we are in the market, and then I'm going to talk about where the potential is, where we're going, and if you take what I'm talking about here and you get deadly serious about it and where we're going, you can get caught up in the wave. Have you ever heard where you just have to, you get in front of the trend and the trend will take you, right? You get in front of a trend, and if you can get in front of it and position yourself in front of a trend correctly, it will literally take you to success, right? That's what I'm talking about, and that's where we are right now. So why is the real estate market on fire during a pandemic? There's a couple different things. First off, inventory drives prices. We're going to talk about that. Interest rates where they are currently right now. The whole mortgage forbearance, rent moratorium that's going on right now that we all know about. Government programs that have come out, and this pending default tsunami that is it's looming, but we don't know exactly how it's going to impact the market or what's going to make it impact the market. Now let's look at inventory. Now that middle section right there you see is in 2008 and 2009 we reached 12.8 months supply of inventory. 12.8 months supply of inventory. And to give you a little perspective, in Phoenix, Arizona, during that time, there was about 5,000 units on the marketplace in 2005 and the market was crazy on fire. Where there was lotteries, there was bidding wars. You'd list a property on the MLS, you'd have 10 people show up. It was escalation clauses in the contract. You'd have people bid on top of bid on top of bid, and they were selling for anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% over the list price. It was insane during that time in 2005. It was crazy. Then what happened was just 3 years later, 2003, 2008, 2009, the inventory went from 5,000 units, and I'm talking Phoenix, but the numbers I showed you, the 12.8 month supply were national, but in Phoenix it went from 5,000 units of available inventory to 50,000 units in mid-2008, 50,000 units. What did it do to home pricing? Well, there's certain pockets in Arizona where houses in 2005 were going for 230, 240, 250. It's a little area of Phoenix called Maryvale. 230, 240, 250, and I had a bunch of rentals in there. We sold those rentals. But at that time, in 2008, it went from 230 in 2005 up to 230 in 2005, down to 30 to 40,000 in 2008 and 2009. And guess who came in? Hedge funds. BlackRock, Blackstone came in and bought thousands and thousands of houses during that little area right there. Because of the inventory impacted the price of the properties. So if you go back here and look at this, you'll see on there that 12.8 months supply. Now if you look to the far, to the right of the screen, you'll see where we are currently right now. And as of 2021, currently, there is 1.9, less than 1.9 months supply. Actually, I just pulled inventory numbers and they're under 600,000 units nationally, which is record lows, historically record low inventory. So what happens is when inventory is low, prices skyrocket. When inventory is high, prices go down. So we're in a market right now where the inventory, there's next to nothing. 600,000 units is nothing, right? It's like nothing nationally. Now, if you look at the median home price, you'll see it spiking, and that's the inflation number, inflation rated for the price of the home price is the yellow line. But if you look at that right there, you'll see that we are currently from the median home price nationally at 309,000 nationally for the median home price across the country right now. And if you look all the way back of how it's, I mean, you can see what it's done. It's spiked recently because inventories are low. Now, let's talk about government programs, right? So we talked about inventory, we talked about that. Let's talk about government programs. Potential impact of Biden's $15,000 home buyer tax credit. Industry experts weigh in after Biden's first week in office. So we talked about doing this $15,000 home buyer tax credit for first home buyers that are coming into the marketplace, and it's really geared toward millennials that can come in and they can purchase a home. And what they'll do is they'll literally get $15,000 literally off. They'll get a credit at closing to purchase a property. Now, what does that do? It creates more fuel to the fire, and what that does, it creates less inventory, and it drives prices higher. So now we have the government coming out, and they're adding more fuel to the fire in a robust, ridiculously hot real estate market. Now, why did inventory get so low? Because people took houses off the market. And then we'll get into the next step, which is here, interest rates. Now, if you look at historic interest rates, all the way back from 1798, it was 8.1%. 1869, it was 4.2%. 1945, it actually got down to 1.7%, right? 1981, 15.8%, that was the Carter era. And then it went down to, in the 2008 to 2.3. So in the previous recession of 2008, it got down to 2.3%. 2016 down to 1.5%, right? And now we are sitting right now for a 30-year fixed. We're looking at interest rate. Now, I'm talking interest rate. This is from the Federal Reserve. We are currently at a 0% interest rate right now. If you look on that chart, you'll see it's down to 0. But we're at a 0% interest rate right now for the Federal Reserve. Now what happens is mortgage rates are obviously different than that. So if you look at it and say in 1981 it's 15.8%, actual mortgage rates are probably anywhere 18 to 20% range, right? So if you look at the current mortgage rates right now, we're at 2.87% for a 30-year fixed and 2.74% for a 15-year fixed. Those are current rates of where we're sitting at right now, which is literally practically free money. So here's the thing, 2021, the real estate market is on fire, absolutely on fire. Mortgage rates will range from that 2.87%, and they're saying upwards to 3.2 to 3.4%, right? As those rates fluctuate. Existing median home sale price appreciation, so that 309,000 median home price will go up 5.7%. So you just look at that right there and you take, 5.7%, 309,000 times 5.7%. That's $17,613 of appreciation, and existing home sales up 7%, right? Insane if you look at all this data. Biden administration extends evictions and foreclosures to March 2021, and now they're thinking about pushing it out to as late as September 2021. Currently, right now, there's 2.7 million homeowners in forbearance right now. Those are the people that actually signed up for forbearance, not including, that doesn't include all the people who are just blowing it off, that haven't essentially signed up for it. So those numbers could be significantly higher, the amount of homeowners that are in distress right now. Now, why are we talking about this? Because the next thing is the potential default tsunami. And I'm going to bring this all around on what it means to you, what it means to the real estate market, what it means as an opportunity, and where you can position yourself as this dam breaks. Now, if you've ever been from Phoenix to Nevada, you have to cross the Hoover Dam. Now, the Hoover Dam is huge, right? It's gigantic. It's massive. Imagine that breaking and the water flooding to the other side. It's insane. That's what we're talking about right here. It's almost like that tsunami, right? A tsunami happens, a shift happens underground, and then the water swells way out, miles out in the ocean, and then this massive wave just hammers on the shoreline. Well, guess what? That shift in the market was COVID-19 in March of 2020, and that swell is happening, but what happens is they keep taking that swell and they push it out a little bit further into the ocean, and it comes a little bit closer and they push it out. Eventually it's going to have to hit land, and when it hits land, it's going to be crazy. Mortgage delinquencies reach 20-year high. Bumpy waters ahead. New mortgage data suggests wave of foreclosures is coming. 30% of Americans missed their housing payment in June. Almost a third of renters missed their housing payments. Mortgage delinquencies caused by the coronavirus will exceed the Great Recession 2008. According to this forecast, homeowners stopped paying their mortgages in record numbers. Serious mortgage defaults will increase fourfold by mid-2021. So here's the question. Is the market going to crash? Is it going to crash? Now, if we look at this inventory thing right here, the market crashed in 2008, 12.8 months supply. We're currently at 600,000 units, under 1.9 months of inventory. market's not going to crash. Market is on fire. And if you're in real estate right now and you're not participating in the market, you're not doing deals, you're not finding deals, or you don't have an element of what I'm about to talk about or a business model that can add cash flow to your rental business, cash flow to your fix and flip business, then you're completely missing out, because I don't think the real estate market's going to crash. I think our inventory might stabilize, where it might go up to 3-4 months supply, right? Which is essentially stable, a stable normal market, 3-4 months supply. If you look on the chart right there, you'll see, if you look all the way across, you'll see about 3 to 4 months of supply. 5 months of supply is about a normalized market. So if we go from ridiculous, we'll go to a normalized market, but we're not going to shoot up inventory up to 12.8 months supply. Now, if you look at in 2004, 2005 area, you can see we were at about 4 months supply in 2005, and in 2006 to 2007 and 8, you see that it spiked up in between 2008 and 2009, it spiked up. But they were starting in about they're talking about a 4+ month supply. We're under that right now. So if we go and add inventory, add distressed houses, add millions of inventory to the marketplace, it's gonna go up, but we're gonna go up basically to a normalized market. Now, here's the caveat, and this is what I'm talking about right here. It's called the butterfly effect. Now, if you look at the definition of the butterfly effect, and here's what this is where it brings it all around, and where this impacts you personally, impacts your bank account personally, impacts you, your family personally, impacts your decision on what you do from this point forward. You are seeing this for a reason. Impacts you this point forward, right? Of what's going to happen to you in the future. This butterfly effect refers to the ability of one incident being able to make huge impacts on the future. So what is the one incident? COVID-19, right? COVID-19 that happened in March is the one incident that is making a huge impact in the future. And unfortunately, right, we have millions and millions and millions of people in a forbearance situation. And maybe you are in a forbearance situation. You're seeing this so you can get out of it, so you can help other people out of the situation. And this butterfly effect is essentially what I'm talking about, is like a perfect storm, meaning inventory levels are at historic lows. Real estate market is on fire. Interest rates are again at historic lows. Buyers are coming into the market. Government programs now are motivating new buyers coming into the market to find properties. So we have this robust real estate market with low inventory. And now what happens? Eventually, they're kicking the can down the road, pushing it to March. We don't know yet until September if that happens. Push it down till September. But there is a point where the Hoover Dam will bust. The foreclosures will bust, and they're going to have to let the market do what it's going to do. And those properties are going to hit the market. And it's an unfortunate thing. And what we can do is help these sellers save their credit and save the majority of their equity, because they're going to be in a situation where it's going to come out and they're going to be in foreclosure, and they're going to have a limited time to either A, raise the money for, you're talking now, it's going to be over a year, year and a half of back mortgage payments to bring it current. It's going to be tens of thousands of dollars, and most people aren't going to have the money to be able to bring it current. So what's going to happen is they're going to either A, they're going to have to raise the money to bring the mortgage current, or they're going to have to sell the property but they're gonna, a lot of houses, they need fix up and renovation, they gotta clean it up, and there's not enough lead time because typically in some states it's 60 days, in other states like Phoenix it's 90 days. You got 90 days to get your house all cleaned up, ready, listed, and sell it, and close it. And a lot of time, that's not time enough, and especially people procrastinate, and they get down to the wire where they got 30, 45 days left. That's where you can come in, you can help them. You can get a property under contract, and you can talk about what we're talking about here. And I'm going to talk about here in a second, this concept of what it is and exactly how it works, and help people through this process, not only save their credit, but save the majority of their equity, and you can get paid for doing that. Now, how to make a fortune day trading properties. Now, if this day trading craze has with GameStop, and AMC theaters, stock market. I mean, literally, GameStop went from $40 up to $350, $70, whatever it was. Crazy, and you have all these people getting on Robinhood and they're trading stocks like crazy to get their stimulus money and trading stocks, and it's nuts. It's been a craze of this whole pandemic thing. But what if you could actually day trade houses? And what I mean by day trade houses is, if you look at stocks, on day trading stocks, you're in and out in a day, right? Swing trading is when you're in and out in a matter of days or weeks, right? That's exactly what we do with real estate. And what we do, and I'm going to explain this here, is that, and here's the concept. Let me explain this concept to you. We can sign a contract with a seller. This gives us equitable interest in the property. Now, when it's related to stocks, it's like an option. You can buy an option, and an option is equated to about 100 shares. But you can buy it for very cheap, right? The difference is here, you can sign a contract with a seller. The earnest money deposit that we use on 99% of our contracts is $100. We use $100 earnest money. We sign a contract with a seller, right? And now what we do is we have the ability to find a buyer, and we can sell this contract. So we can find a buyer and we can sell them our contract. That's called an assignment, right? We're not really selling the house, we're selling the contract, right? And when we sell that contract and we assign that contract to a buyer, let me give an example. Let's say theoretically we signed a contract with a seller for $50,000. We signed a contract. House is worth, say, $80,000, $100,000. Signed a contract for $50,000. And then we use this contract to assign it for $10,000 to a buyer that gets that contract. Now he gives us a $10,000 assignment, and now he closes on that property for $60,000, right? So now, right, he pays that, you got the assignment agreement, he now actually closes on the contract for $50,000 because he gave us a $10,000 assignment. He's in it for $60,000. $50,000 goes to the seller, they're happy, and now he gets a property that's below market. Now the property might need work, it might need fixing up, but this gives you the equitable interest to be able to do that, and that is the concept. Meaning, you don't have to have a credit check when you sign a contract. You don't have to have $100,000 down, $50,000 down when you sign a contract. Now it's interesting, but the contract, you sign it for a price, $50,000, and you have 30 to 45 days to close with a 30 to 45 day inspection period. Then you can find a buyer and assign that contract. So what if you can't find a buyer? Well, guess what? You're during your inspection period, and you can back out of the contract if you so choose. Now, that's all disclosed to the seller. They can sign the contract and they can turn around or not sign the contract. But the bottom line is what I'm showing you here is how to do this all across the country on a massive, massive scale. Now, these contracts give you the equitable interest. Now, the cool thing about this is you don't have to have a real estate license to do it unless you're in Illinois. In Illinois, you have to work directly with a real estate agent to actually transact and do deals like this. Otherwise, in all the other states across the country, you don't need a real estate license to do this because you're not representing a buyer and you're not representing a seller, right? Because if a real estate agent, if someone has 45 days left and they're about to lose their house to foreclosure, a lot of real estate agents won't even list that property because there's not enough time to fix it up and put it on the market and get the pictures and clean it up and have showing come over, right? And turn around and sell it with conventional financing. They typically can't do it. But with what we do and what I'm about to show you, and specifically the steps to do it, you're able to make that happen. So you can do this anywhere in the country except Illinois, and there's no real estate license needed. Now, distressed houses, typically there are 5% of the distressed properties in a marketplace. And nationally, that's millions and millions and millions of houses. But with this whole pandemic and what's coming down the pipeline with all these forbearances, any moratoriums that will eventually hit the market and be released, we're talking 15%, which is tens of millions of distressed houses available inventory, where leads are going to come in right crazy. It's already happening now where sellers are calling us. You know what we're getting a lot of calls from? Landlords are saying, hey, I got this property, tenant's not paying, I can't pay anymore, I just want to dump it, give me any price, and I just want to get rid of this property. By the droves, right? We just got a property in Orange, California, the exact same thing. Vacant, tenant left, trashed the place is a mess, turn around, guess what? Got it under contract, turn around selling it, $92,000 profit. So what happens is you get these properties under contract, turn around, sell it, and checks go to you. Now check this out. These are example deals. This one right here is in Amherst, Deer Park, Texas. That is $39,000 right here. Here's another one, 12208 Atkins Ave, Kansas City, Missouri. Now, you notice I'm giving you the real property address. I'm not giving you an abbreviation, or I'm not just saying Kansas City, or not just saying Atkins. I'm giving you the real property address, right? Because I'm 100% transparent. These are transactions that we completed. Now, here's the thing. These are assignment contracts. You won't be able to find them on Zillow because Zillow only posts properties that are on MLS. These are all off MLS deals. So they're in the county records, right? You can see them in, say, an app like REI Automator. But these aren't on Zillow. So if you go look on Zillow, you're not going to be able to find it on there, that transaction. But these are real transactions that we completed. Here's another one, 3359 Barrett Road, Akron, Ohio. $16,000. Here's another one, 8510 Colonial Circle, Easton, Maryland, just outside of DC, $27,000 profit. So we signed a contract for $160, turned around, sold that contract for $187, made $27,000 profit. And guess what? Seller didn't have to pay commissions. They didn't have to pay closing costs. They could pick out their moving date, right? They got the majority of their equity in the position. They didn't have to put it on the market. They didn't have to have, a sign in the front yard and have tons of people going through the property. And they didn't have to clean the thing, fix the thing, do anything to it. So it was an absolute service to the seller, and it was an absolute service to the buyer as well because they got a property below market. So let's get into the 8-step day trading houses business model. We're going to get into it in detail. I'm going to go through and show you exactly what to do. And my mission here, showing you this, is that you can turn around, duplicate it, and apply it yourself and follow these steps. Now, the first thing we have to do is select the best state. Then we want to pick a city, a small city within the state. And I'm going to talk about why small markets are better than these major markets. Number 3 is the 2 best marketing methods to find distressed sellers. Number 4 is making strategic offers over the phone. How do you get a seller to sign a contract over the phone? We're going to talk about that. Finding buyers, or finding the best closing agent. How do you get the transaction closed? What title companies can you use nationally to do it? We're going to talk about that. How to get floods of buyers wanting your property in any market, small market, large market across the country. We've sold properties in all across the entire country, and we don't have a massive buyers list or anything like that nationally. We find buyers in that local market. How to get the buyer to sign the contract, and how to get paid using these funding strategies. So here's the interesting thing about day trading houses. Here's the business model. You don't need funding. You don't have to raise capital. You don't need to borrow hard money, private money, raise private money, or anything like that. There's no cash needed to buy or fix a property. There's no credit checks ever. Can be done on a part-time basis, right? This could be a great side hustle around what you're doing. And you can turn a side hustle where you make more money on the side hustle than you do on your full-time gig, and eventually quit if you like. Profit can come incredibly quickly. Business can be done from anywhere in the world. All you need is a laptop and a phone. Business can be successful in up or down markets. It doesn't matter that the market's on fire. It helps, it makes it a little bit more easier, but guess what? In 2008, I was wholesaling houses like crazy in that market because there's different type of buyers come in the market looking for smoking deals. It just happens. Reduce risk of failure by paying for speed, meaning you can learn this in a hyper-focused, fast way, and I'll share that here shortly here at the end of the presentation. I'm going to show you exactly how you can learn this inside and out so you don't have to, guessing games, you don't have to figure it out, you don't have to figure out what works, you don't have to figure out the scripts on what to say to a seller. We have it. How to offer, what offer price to make a seller, we have it. How to find buyers, the process, we have it. It's already been done. And I'm going to share with you exactly how you can learn how to do that. Reduce risk by, business can be scaled to unlimited income. Business can be started with minimal capital. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to show you some other individuals that have followed this 8-step process and their success. I just have a couple, like 3. I want to show you what they've done, and I'm going to actually get into the 8-step process. So first off, all incomes you'll hear are real and verified. However, the incomes depict and represent the most successful participants, and the majority of individuals earn less because they don't do anything. These figures should not be considered as guarantees or projections of your actual earnings or profit. It is understood that your success is predicated on your effort. This is a business. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a business that I do. This is a business I teach. It requires hard work, desire, and diligence. So I just want you to show some other people's success, what they have done, what they've completed, so you can see, but they've all worked hard. And like I said, most people don't do anything, right? And that's not gonna be you. So here's again a screenshot of just a screenshot of our account. These are actual wires coming into my account, and these are assignment contracts from all these deals. These are assignment contracts: 148,000, 25,000, 120,000, 23,000, 14,000, 25,000, 4,500, 27,000, 17,000, 100,000, 39,000, 60,000, 11,000, 159,000. These are actual wires coming into the account specifically on assignment on exactly what we're talking about. That's proof of what I've done, and we're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in revenue exactly like this. Here's another deal we did in 31st Street in Bellevue, Washington, $148,211. Now, imagine this. This is Sis, right? Almost 1 year into the real estate investing business, just shy of making $100,000 in wholesale fees. My first year, acquired 2 cash flowing properties, debt-free, while pregnant, 5th child, youngest child being a year-old, planned a dope real estate conference. So she is crushing it. Not only, how many kids does he have, right? 5th child on the way, made $100,000. So people go like, I don't have any, well, what, I don't know if I can do this. Well, she had no excuses. Here's Anwar. This is a quick motivation for everybody looking to get their first deal, one of the easiest wholesale deals I've ever done. Between a few texts and conversation, all in all, this deal took roughly 5 hours from contract to close, $13,148.17 an hour. That's a $65,000 check. What a great story from Anwar. Here's Monica, a great one. She says, circling back to say thank you to Sean Terry again. Last week closed on this deal, $76,000 deal that she turned around and did. What a great story. All right, so let's get into the steps here. Step 1, how to select the best state. Rising property prices, affordable rental properties. These are the criteria we use to pick a state. And we have a whole list of the top 20 states. I'm also going to give you another tool of picking like top cities. But first off, you want to pick a state to do business in, a state, right? You can pick a state, and I'm going to tell you why. But you got rising property prices, affordable rental properties, population growth in that state, employment gains in the state, high rental occupancy in the state, growing share of renter-occupied households, state with low property taxes. So we kind of look for them. We have, like I said, a list of top 20 houses, 20 states in the country that fit this mold right here, where investors look to spend their money, because most of the properties, 99%, 99.9% of the properties we sell to as investors. So this is where we want to target. So we have it by state, and each state has little cities where we can do business. Now, these small markets in these cities are critical, right? So there's Dallas, there's Fort Worth, there's Irving, Arlington. We don't target there. We would target Waco, Texas, Lubbock, Texas, Odessa, Texas, Midland, Texas. Why will we target those small towns? Because nobody's there. Tyler, Texas, because there's no competition there. And they're close to a major market, right? But there's no one there. There's no competition. You send a direct mail postcard to those small little areas, your phone will melt off the hook. Why? Because no one else is sending them. They're sending them to Dallas. They're sending them to Austin, Houston, Phoenix, Las Vegas, all those big markets. So step 2 is, well, right, so now we pick a state, right? And then we want to pick a small city within that state that we can do business in. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to show you different marketing methods here in a second. These marketing methods, we got the state right here, but the certain marketing method that we use will actually expose some really awesome small little towns in that area that you can do business. Now, here's another thing. If you go to realtor.com/research, you can see this. This is the top 20 hottest cities in the entire country. You could just say, hey, you know what? I want to do Colorado Springs, Modesto, California, Manchester, New Hampshire. These are the hottest markets across the country, hottest little cities across the country that you could essentially target and do business in. All right, so let's get into the top 3 ways, right? So now we got a state, right? Maybe a city we're working in. We go, okay, what do we do? How is the best way to get an influx of motivated sellers contacting us? Well, the first way, we've got 2 of them right here. We've got strategic direct mail that's tied in with pay-per-click advertising. No one's ever taught this before. This is completely like brand new. This is something we've worked with and kind of invented, not really invented. We invent direct mail. We didn't invent pay-per-click advertising, but the combination of both is the interesting, unique marketing strategy that we use. Now, let's talk about that. So Google AdWords and Bing, that's called pay-per-click advertising. You can pay when someone searches a keyword, sell house fast for cash. You can pay to be at the top of that search. And when someone clicks on that, what's going to happen? They're going to hit your website. So let's go in here real quick. And I'm going to go to right here. I'm going to go to Google right here. Let's go to Google. And we're going to go sell house fast for cash, right? Now, all these right here are ads. Ad, right? So we got 4 ads, and I think we got some ads down here. Ad. So these are ads too. So if you look at, so Any House right here, Fast Cash Homes AZ, right here, right here. So if I click on here, this one, it's going to go to a website right here, and you can call the phone number, or you can type in your address right here, right? And this is website. Now, this creates leads 24/7. That means people search online, they type in the keyword all across the country, and they click on that, and it creates a lead 24/7. That means they go to the website right there, and they check out that website. They can type in their information. They can call the phone number. And literally 24/7, you can get leads coming into your business 24/7, which is amazing. That's how Google AdWords work. Now I'm going to take you in to my actual Google AdWords campaign. Now, if you notice this campaign, I have it from all time, but we actually started really running this campaign. We got 3,490 clicks, and you'll see that's January of 2020, about a year. right? About a year. So if you look on over that year, right, we've got roughly 20,994 leads for an average cost per lead of about $37 cost per conversion, you can see. Now, different campaigns, we've got a branded campaign, we've got a California campaign, we've got a exact match, we've got a nationwide broad campaign that converts. But you see, look at this right here, we have 14% conversions, 16%. If you know anything about conversions when it comes to website traffic, you're typically looking at about 3 to 4% when it comes to website traffic. Here we're looking at 14, 16, 8, 6%, depending on what we're doing here. Now, if you can see, I know AdWords inside and out. I've been running it for years. This is one of about 3 accounts that I test different campaigns in. This particular account, I've spent over $2.3 million in this one account right here, you can see. So I know AdWords inside and out, and we've been able to get deals nationally. Spent $600,000 in 2020 and generated, you can see 20,994 leads, or 15,000 based upon that right there, 599, which is a lot of leads doing business. So you're wondering how we're doing, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in revenue. Well, there it is right there. And this is just off Google, not including Bing, not including our direct mail, and not including my other accounts that we're working in right now. So talk about lead generation. You will never have a lead generation problem ever again if you understand what we're doing, how to structure a campaign correctly. Here's the caveat. Google, right? I don't know if I want to get into this because it's pretty deep, but I'll make it real easy. The more you restrict Google, the higher the cost per lead. The more you don't restrict, right? Less restrictions, the lower the cost per lead. Now that's counterintuitive to most web Google people. And anybody that knows Google AdWords is going, what are you talking about? Instead of targeting the city and targeting the zip code and being restrictive on that geolocation, we target the state, like Texas. So we target the state of Texas. Now leads come in all across Texas, right? But now what happens is we're finding these small little markets in these states, right? So now we've got Tyler, Texas, Lubbock, Texas, Waco, Texas that are coming in, and there's these small little where we get smoking deals in. Well, we're targeting all these states, about 43 different states right now. In these 43 different states that we're targeting, we're finding these small little markets, and then what we're doing is the next step, and here's one that came in from Google. Let me share it with you real quick. Here's one that came in from Google. This was a $37 lead that turned into a $120,000 profit in Anaheim, California. But basically what happens is we hit Texas, target Texas, and because we target Texas, Waco comes up and we find a little property in Waco where there's no competition there, minimal competition other than like Dallas and Fort Worth and Austin and Houston are packed. It's a great little market. We find these markets. What we're doing is we're sending direct mail. We're sending direct mail. And what we're doing is now we find, say, Waco, Texas, then we can go in and we can go into REI Automator. Oops, what am I doing here? All right, we can go to REI Automator, which I'll share here in a second. REI Automator goes in here, and in REI Automator, right, you turn around, I can type Waco, Texas in here. I can do a filter. I'll do this real quick. I can go to tax delinquent properties, pre-foreclosures. You don't want to hit that yet. You want to hit that basically when the moratorium is released. You can hit vacant properties. You got cash buyers. You got high equity properties, free and clear properties, bankruptcy, divorce, tax delinquent, flippers we'll talk about here in a second. You got zombie properties. Those are vacant foreclosures. Again, you don't want to hit that. You got senior owners that have properties. You can hit non-owner occupied, but here's a great list. Tax delinquent, right? You got tax delinquent properties. And then you go vacant properties. There's 146 right there. And then you want to do valuation. We're going to do equity, 50% or more equity, right? There's 137. This is a smoking hot list. This is a great list that you can hit right now. You can put that to a specific list, and then you can turn around. You can go over here to campaigns. And guess what? You can send, if you want, a postcard campaign out. When you send a postcard campaign out, look what you can do. If I go to postcard campaign right here, you can pick a postcard right here. And I love this one here, the notice one here. And you can pick, and I actually give you the best performing postcard that works the best. You can pick it. You can select the list. You can make sure your phone number's in there, and you press send. In a matter of 4 to 5 days, your postcard will hit the houses of people that have never seen a postcard in these small markets across the country, and your phone's going to melt off the hook, and you're going to get sellers wanting to sell their houses, and you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to get deals. And that is how it works. Here's one right here that we've done in small little town in New Albany, Indiana, right? Who would think? New Albany, Indiana, $17,500 profit. We're the only person that talked to the seller. We got the contract on the property for $100,500, and we assigned that contract for $17,500. The end buyer purchased that property for $118,000 and got a smoking deal on it. So here's the thing, step 4. Now you pick a state, right? And now we have leads coming in from sellers. Now a seller calls and you pick up the phone, you call them back, you talk to them. There's a 4-step process to closing a seller over the phone. First one's a deep dive. We gather all the information, everything about the repairs of the property. We got the first and second asking price, absolutely critical. Then we set an appointment, because remember, we're on a phone, and we're gonna be set an appointment. We're gonna get back on the phone with them in 30 minutes to an hour. Then we're gonna do all of our research. We're gonna do our document prep with our DocuSign, get everything all put together, right? And then we're gonna call them back, and we're gonna close the deal. And there's specific closing questions you can ask. There's how to position the comps when you're talking to the seller. There's a way to solve the problem with the price. So you gotta find that magic problem, understand the second asking price. Second asking price is critical. Tying into the repairs to the close. Once you understand, now I've got a script for all this. And they have an objection, I wanna think about it, I have an answer, right? Your price is too low, I have an answer, right? We have, I might list it, we have an answer. I wanna talk to my friend, I wanna answer. I wanna talk to a realtor, got an answer for that. So we have not only scripts, but we have scripts with rebuttals or objections in detail that are the best in the business. Why I've been doing this for 17 years. I can close over the phone, I know exactly how to do it. So step 5, closing companies. Here are the 3 major closing companies that close all of our transactions nationally across the country. We have a great relationship with all of them. Number 6 is finding cash buyers. So what we do, now check this out. I'll show you this real quick. Now we go, hey, where do I find buyers, right, in Waco, Texas? How the heck do I find buyers in Waco? Wait, let me see here, search. So if I go back here, I'm in Waco, Texas, and I'm gonna clear this. Now I'm gonna go through, go to Waco right here, and I'm gonna put filter, and I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna go to flippers. Where's flippers? Tired, vacant, senior, flippers right here. Okay, so I got flippers. Now what are flippers? Flippers are buyers who purchase properties cash, fix the property up, and now they're turning around and reselling that property, and they're listing it. Keyword listing it, right? So we do that. Now I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna pick one here. I'm gonna say, let's look at this one. Now it's on the MLS, gives you all the details, the value, the price, everything like that, which is great. You even have an offer automator calculator. So if I go to MLS deals, I scroll down right here, look what this does. It gives us the agent name and gives us the agent phone number. They're representing, and the email address. They're representing the cash buyer who bought the property, fixed it up, and sold it. So you know what you can do? You can turn around, you can select, you can add it to a list, and you can export, and you put them in a platform we use, and we text them out and say, hey, do do you have any buyers in Waco, Texas for a super hot, smoking off-market deal? And we sent them a text. And guess what? They reached back out to us, and we sell our properties just like that all across the entire country, just with that one little list right there. It's insane. It's crazy how we're doing it. So that's one, REI Automator. Next, guess what? If we go to Flippers and Flippers, we can't find someone there, we'll go to Realtor.com and we find buyers, the top buyers in those market, and we're gonna text them the exact same thing. Hey, do you have any buyers? Have a super hot smoking off-market deal? Let us know, and they'll reply back, and yes, I do have buyers, bam, and you can get them more information. So that works incredible of selling properties in any market across the country super fast. The next one is finding buyers. We talked about that. Next one here is arrange. So now a buyer calls in, you talk to them, right? Now you've got a structure to have them go see the property, but we want to do it where we can have multiple buyers. So we set up what's called a 30-minute open house. We have the buyers go over there. We work with an agent. The agents are bringing their buyers over to the house. They may bring 2 or 3 buyers at a time. And they go through, they look at the house, and highest and best offer gets the deal. Now, what happens? How do you position the seller to have buyers come over to the house? We have a script for that. How do you position the buyers so they don't circumvent the deal and go behind your back? We have a script for that. Everything has been thought of, planned, perfected, and done, systemized. I don't teach anything that I haven't done, systemized, perfected, and we do in our business, and it crushes. Then we're going to put together, and then we're going to teach it. So how do you get paid? 2 ways to get paid is assignment and double escrow. Those are the 2 ways you get paid in the transaction. 99% of the time, 99.999% of the time. We do what's called an assignment of contract. We sell our contract. So imagine this, the ultimate business model. Not only the ultimate business model in a normal market, but now the ultimate business model in the perfect storm. Super low inventory, super low interest rates, and now a potential wave of distressed properties hitting the market in a super low inventory, super low interest rate. What does it do? It creates the perfect storm. And if you understand this business model, you can get in front of it. I'm telling you, we're talking about generational wealth. This can set you up and understanding the process and how we do this. Now imagine the success and the money that can bring. Imagine doing this anywhere in the world. You can be 100% virtual and mobile. What does that mean? If you're in Canada, want to flip houses in the United States, you can do it. If you're watching this and you're in another part of the country and you want to flip houses in the United States, you can do it. I don't teach how to do deals in other countries. I teach how to do deals in the United States. So if you're anywhere, there's people, there's a partnership out of Canada that's flipping houses following this model in the United States. They're killing it. They're killing it. They're in like Memphis, they're in Tennessee, that's their market. In Dallas, and they're doing, or not Dallas, but Texas, and they're doing incredible. And people worrying about, what about competition? There is more deals, and there's more deals to come. And the bottom line is you can have a competitive mindset, scarcity mindset, or you can have an abundant mindset. I've always had an abundant mindset, and it works for me. All right, you got to watch this video right here. These are some incredible incredible video testimonials of some people that followed what we're talking about and their success. So here, check this out.
This video goes out to Sean Terry. Okay, Sean, you don't know me. You will one day. But holy crap, man. I got so much information from you, which launched my business. I literally just closed my first deal last week. I'll tell you about it. And I made $35,000. And I have to attribute my success to hard work, to pushing through fear, and the information that I got from you, man. Like, holy crap. Thank you. So I got this deal by way of door knocking. And I was in kind of like a financial bind. I was Ubering during the day, working on my business. Ubering during the morning, working on my business during the afternoon, and then Ubering at night, like on the super hustle. So I gathered and mustered up all the little courage I had inside, and I made a list, and I knocked on the door, and then the owner came, and I just was myself, and I would just let him know, listen, I'm here to help you. And next thing you know, I had that bad boy under contract, and I freaked out. And I was like, oh my God, what's next? Like, I forgot all my training. What do I do? And then I had that thing under contract literally in about less than a day. And the buyer was amazing. And don't get me wrong, the starting point to the ending point to the closing was like being locked in a dryer on high. Okay, I was going down a hill wearing skates and speed bumps along the way. Okay, because I was getting beat up. But I have learned so very much along the way, that I'm extremely grateful for. So this will be almost a $40,000 month for me, and there is no way I will have another month that is not equal or better. So thank you so much, Sean. You the man. I know we're gonna meet one day, and I look forward to it. And I just wanted you to know that I'm forever grateful. Thank you so much for all that you do. Keep it going, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Bye.
Hi, my name is Misha. I am the owner of Breaking Boundaries Investments. I bought the Flip to Freedom program in February of this year, and I got my first deal around May of this year, and I've really just been taking off ever since then. The program was extremely easy. Sean Terry broke everything down to a way that I can understand it. I really didn't understand wholesaling in the beginning, so it was amazing to have someone to actually be able to sit you down and kind of break down the basics of wholesaling. I really loved his seller course. It kind of gave me an outlook on how to verbally speak with sellers as far as their different type of situations and the different type of ways I can acquire the properties, but also at the same time help them out. I suggest anybody that don't have that much in funds, I really suggest that you get the Flip to Freedom program, because it literally changed my business and my life. Just because you don't get that for that type of price nowhere, period, point blank, period. Like literally, all of his negotiation techniques I still use his being able to read personality types and things like that. Like I still use all of that to this day. I still use different course materials and things like that. It really just kind of got me on the right track. So anybody that's thinking about getting the program, I can promise you 100% that it's worth every penny.
Hey, this is Russell Walker from Chicago, Illinois. Just wanted to do a testimonial for Sean Terry. Got started in wholesaling real estate about eight years ago, and it started from one of his books actually, and his free podcast. I did a couple deals just from listening to his podcast, reading his book, and 8 years later, I still study his courses. I still listen to his podcast. I still have, buy his new courses that he has. And we do about 20 transactions a month in the Chicago, Illinois area. And you can check us out, Best Chicago Wholesale Deals in the Chicago area. And, I just want to thank Sean T for his motivation. The mindset thing was probably the biggest thing. Listening to his podcast was huge. In order to get where I'm at today. So I appreciate you, Sean T. Sean Terry, thank you for everything you provided, and I can't thank you enough for everything, man. Thank you. God bless.
Imagine successfully completing 1 to 3 deals a month remotely. Imagine running a full-time business, closing 5 to 15 deals a month. Either or. If you want to do this part-time and you want to do this around your job and just do a deal a month or 2 deals a month, this is an incredible side hustle. Or if you're looking at this going, holy cow, I want to crush it. We have, like I said, amazing success stories of people that went out and did amazing things. Now, remember, no experience, no credit check, no funding purchase real estate, no funding renovations, no contractors, no real estate license needed unless you're in Illinois. No need to meet sellers face to face. No need to look at a property. You don't have to smell cat urine. You know how many houses I've been in with nasty cat urine? Ugh. No technical computer skills required. No need for traditional brick and mortar office. Can be done part-time or full-time. Profit can come very quickly. Business can be done from anywhere in the world, either an up market or down market. And you can pay for speed. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. Business can be scaled to unlimited income. Here's how you pay for speed. We've done it all. I've documented every aspect of the business in Remote Millions 2.0, every aspect of the 8-step process explained in detail where you can learn cutting-edge strategies to confidently do 1 to 2 deals per month remotely using none of your own cash or credit. It's a total immersion, interactive, hands-on, first-class, 4-week master class. It's on digital, you have audio, you have the downloads, you have the scripts, you have everything you need to do this business inside and out, so there's no guessing, right? So Remote Millions 2.0, virtual wholesaling master class. Now, this is a real abbreviated version. First off, we're going to select the city and state to do business in, and we're going to talk about strategic marketing. I break down my AdWords campaign in detail, step by step by step, from a selection of what campaign, how you start it. Is it a lead campaign? Is it a pay-per-click campaign that you're going to do, a video campaign, a smart campaign, which you don't want to do, right? And then every aspect and step in between, every little setting is critical. There is one setting that will blow your entire campaign if you screw it up. So we talk about detail, we talk about the direct mail, we talk about exactly what to do in the list to pull everything in between. Then we talk about how to talk to sellers and make offers remotely over the phone. That's when we get into the script. That's when we get into the objections. That's when we get into the set, the positioning with the seller to make an offer over the phone. Then we're going to talk about selling your property in lightning speed. We're going to talk about that in detail. And we're going to talk about successful student case study and scaling your business. So think about that. Selling your property, right? You get a property in New Albany, Indiana. You've never been there. You've never seen the property. How do you get pictures, right? How do you do that without paying for it? We're going to talk about how to do that. We talk about all this in the training. Literally, if you want to pay for speed and instead of trying to figure out everything yourself, it's all done right here. So the retail value of this Remote Millions is, well, it's a lot more than that. I've had people tell me it's a lot more than that, but $997 retail value, brand new. But you're not going to pay retail value, especially tonight, what's happening, and you're here. But first off, part of the Remote Millions 2.0, you have to have this, because this gives you data from every deal, every property nationally. It's like the virtual wholesaling. You've got to have it. It's absolutely critical. So we're throwing this in, and it's the we're going to waive the activation fee for the software. It's like a license fee. I'm going to pay that, and it's a 1-month access you get for that to learn how to use it, and you'll absolutely love it. But you get all your data, all your lists. It's a office suite to do deals. So just these two right here, it's a $1,991 value with the course and the software that comes with it. Plus, I get on every other week with you, every other week, and I talk about deals. I talk about the market. I talk about what we're doing in our business, and I answer questions. I love doing this because I get the pulse of what's happening, not only in your world across the country, but that's how we solve problems and be able to help you literally pay for speed. So if you have a problem or an issue or a situation, not only do we have an incredible support system here but the bottom line is you'll be able to plug in to me every other week. We have other things too. So that's $997. That's $4,998 value for that. Plus, we have live events. 2021, we have 2 live events scheduled. In January, we had one, and we have one coming up here in the future. But these are the Extreme Freedom event. It's absolutely amazing. We had an incredible, even during COVID, we had a complete thing. We had all the social distancing. Everyone had masks. Everyone had all the stuff, and it worked out absolutely phenomenal. It was great. So also too, it comes, I did an intensive where I walked people through the entire course and answered questions and went through it again with people on an implementation intensive is what we called it. Those are recordings right now that you can that we make available to you, and the information is phenomenal. So all that's a $10,382 value. Plus we have unannounced bonus. All my prize forms and scripts updated. We just updated them in 2020. $497 value. Unannounced bonus. Bi-weekly deal or no deal. So every other week, I'm on the line and I answer questions on live coaching calls with you. And then the other week, so pretty much every week you get to plug in, Brandon is my right-hand man. He was the COO of my company. He runs our whole coaching team right now. And he gets on the line, and what he'll do is he actually goes through live deals with you, and he tells you what's a deal and what's a no deal. And he's not only going to show you how to make offers on properties, comp properties, what we do with properties, but he's going to teach you how to fish instead of giving you a fish, which is great. $1997 value. Plus you get access to the private members only Facebook community. Thousands and thousands of members. You get to plug in. It's a $97 value. People are talking, asking questions, posting stuff. It's pretty cool. And I get in there. $13,873 value for all that. So I went through and I asked, and I said, hey, you know, guys who've been through this, had success with the program, actually implemented and applied it, what do you think it's worth, right? A couple guys said, you know, hey man, this is like a full-on support coaching program. This is a business model, at least $5,000. Other one lowest was $1997. You know, so I asked myself, do we want to, if we're gonna, as an investment, $4,000? I asked myself, would I do that? Did I have the ability to do that when I first got started? And the answer was no. And then $1997. Would I have the ability to do that when I first got started? No. So the retail price is $997. And here's the thing. I look back when I first got started. I bought a course when I was driving down the freeway, and I listened to that guy on the radio. That guy on the radio, he started talking about flipping houses. Well, I ended up buying his course, and I took my first Premier card of $250, and I called my wife up and I asked if I could borrow her first Premier card for $250, and I put those together, and I asked the guy, I said, could you take 2 credit cards and for $500, and his course was $500. And I asked him if he could take it, and he said yes. And that's what I put together, and it got my attention, and I was serious about it, and I basically jumped in on it. Well, guess what? It's not going to be $997, not the retail price. I'm going to give you what I had, and I'm going to give you a coupon code right now for a limited quantity only. I negotiated with our REI Automator software. I have partners in that. And I asked them to give me a handful of licenses that I could give away, right? Otherwise, I'd have to charge significantly more for this because I'd have to pay for the license fee of $897. So not only are we waiving that license fee, I got them to waive it for a limited quantity only. So now it's 50% off, same price I started when I first got started in 2003. If you go to getremotemillions.com, getremotemillions.com, if you use the coupon code remote50, that coupon code will give you 50% off, and it won't be $997, it'll be $498.50 if it works, right? Now, we've got a ton of people going there. A lot of people on there watching us right now. People are going there and signing up right now. So if you put the coupon code in and it doesn't work, then we've hit our internal number for the amount of licenses that we had. It's literally registered to a number. So what happens is you put remote 50 in, and once that number's hit, it's literally will say expired. And the price is $9.97. So if you're serious, you want to get started now, you want to get going, you want to get this information, you want to stop messing around, go to Get Remote Millions right now, get signed up, Remote 50, it's only $498.50, or you can even do a 3-pay of $197.50, or if you want, you can use PayPal credit, and PayPal will extend you credit to get the program. Now, I believe in 100% money back guarantee. If you don't absolutely love it, if I didn't over deliver on this, then guess what? You can send us an email, no questions asked. You'll get a refund on this because I want no one to be damaged if I misled you in any way and you don't like it. Guess what? You can get a refund. I'm not one of those crazy companies that will take your money and put you through heck to try to get your a refund back. But if you're serious about this and you want to get started, this is the best program. But if it's not for you, you can get your money back 30 days guaranteed. Now, here's your choices. Either A, you can pay for speed. I got everything mapped out that you can use. Or B, you can try it yourself. You can waste time and money trying to figure this out. Testing marketing campaigns. Just trying to test Google, man, you can spend $498, $500 just like that in a matter of days doing it wrong because they'll just literally run away with you. Not knowing what to say to a seller, not knowing what to offer and how to calculate repairs, that's huge. Not selling for the highest price possible. Guess what? I guarantee you'll lose thousands and thousands of dollars just in those couple different scenarios right there. What if you sell it for too low? What if you don't know how to calculate repairs? What if you get outbid by somebody else, right? Being unorganized and losing deals, trusting the wrong people where they steal the deal from you, structuring the wrong deal with your partner, valuing the property wrong, right? I've seen that before, and guess what? You contract it too high, or even you contract it too low. Not knowing how to get paid, how to work with the title companies. Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. And here's the thing. You lose thousands and you lose tons of time, which is the most important thing. So here's the thing, is that we're in this time right now. We got historically low inventory. We've got everything that's going on with the marketplace. We have, this foreclosure moratorium. This is all coming to a head. You don't have time to miss out on this right now. You don't have time to miss out on it. So imagine being in Noir. Look at this. Here's some more checks from him. There's Christopher Kennedy, $5,500 check. He's super excited. Anthony Price, $40,847. Bam. Here's another one from Anthony, $34,220.75. All you got to do is go to getremotemillions.com. Getremotemillions.com. Coupon code remote50. Only $498.50 or a 3-pay of $197.7 for a limited time. All right, so here's the thing. You're at a crossroad right now, right? You got to make a decision. Either A, you're going to continue doing what you've been doing, or B, you're going to not. You're going to do something different. Now, all you got to do is look at it and say, hey, where am I going to be 3 years from now? That's the question. Where am I going to be 3 years from now? 3 years from now, if you continue doing what you've been doing, you're going to continue to get what you've always got. So, how do you know where you're going to be 3 years from now? Look where you were 3 years ago. Are you driving the same car, living the same lifestyle, having the same problems, having the same bank account? If that's the case and you continue down the same path, you're going to get the same results. Period. Nothing's going to change. The guarantee is you're going to get the same results. Or you can take a new path, a different path. It might be a scary path. It might be like, I don't know about this path. It's different. But the new path, where a new business model, maybe you've never done real estate before, maybe you want to do something different, you go down that path, well, guess what? 3 years from now, you could be at a whole day. I know for me, it changed my life completely. Completely changed my life. From 2003, when I first got started, I got my first check. By the time 2006 came around, I owned $36 million worth of real estate. I bought a beach house in Southern California, driving a Range Rover in 3 years because I made one decision. Now, here's the guarantee if you take this new path. The guarantee is, you know what? You're protected by a money-back guarantee. So if I'm wrong, you get your money back. The guarantee on the other path is you're going to continue to get what you've always got. So go to GetRemoteMillions.com, get signed up, get started, or you can use the 3Pay, or you can use PayPal credit. All right, I've got some questions from people. What if I already have the Flip to Freedom product owner? Then your discount, right now, if you're watching this, your discount is the 50% off while it's available. Can I do this in my state or small town? Absolutely. Small towns work great. How much startup capital do I need to get started? Well, once you get started, guess what? You can get started with a literally very small budget on AdWords getting started, or you can send out postcards. Postcards are super cheap in these different markets. So if you had a couple $100s to get started, I know when I started, I hand wrote letters from my kitchen table and sent out 25 a day. I got leads calling in. I called sellers up. I got properties under contract, and I got started. What if I need help and have a question? Well, we have Apple-like support, right? You can call 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, Phoenix time. Chelsea's on there. We have our support team. Or guess what? We have an incredibly robust Facebook group. Or we have every week you can jump on a call with either Brandon or myself and get your questions answered. So I've heard that some states don't allow wholesaling. The only state is Illinois. You can still do wholesaling. You just need to work with an agent in that market. Are these stories for real? Absolutely, they're 100% real. And you actually get to come to one of our live events, meet people there. They're there. You can talk to them. I bring them on stage. Incredible stories. How long before I get my first check? I've seen people get their first checks in a matter of weeks, and I've seen people take 6 months to get their first checks. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Whether a guy be like Tyler White, took him 6 months to get his first check. He went out after he got his first check. He just started cranking after that. Now the guy does $1 million a year in revenue. So how much time does it take? Well, you can work anywhere from, obviously the more time and energy you put into it, the more success you're going to have. But if you want to do this around your job, if you want to work anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week around your job, currently what you're doing, you can see results from it. Can you do this in Canada? You can't flip houses in Canada, but you can live in Canada and flip houses in the United States. We have people that do that. What if I'm a real estate agent that can do this? Absolutely, you can. First off, as a real estate agent, you have to disclose everything. Second off, you're not representing buyers and sellers. You're acting on your own behalf. And the third thing, I would highly recommend talking to your broker and making sure he's fully aware of what you're doing. Next thing is, what if I'm not a computer savvy? No problem. It's very easy to navigate 99% of what we do. Do I need to line up funding for this? Absolutely not. That's what's great about this business. Wholesaling houses, you don't need funding. All you just need these contracts, which is next, which is the gifts. So go to GetRemoteMillions.com. GetRemoteMillions.com, only $498.50 or a 3Pay of $197. Get it before the limited quantity. If you go there and it doesn't work, then I'm sorry. So here, let's go check this out. I'm going to show you where your free gift is real quick. So if I go here and I go to Remote Millions, you're going to land on here, RemoteMillions.com, and you go here and you scroll down. And if we put in Remote 50, see if it works. Does it work? It does work. So it's $498.50, 50% off. So if you're on there right now, your discount can be applied. You can continue, you can check out, or you can use what's called PayPal credit. And now if you scroll down right here, see this right here, it says, where are my free gifts? Here's the download link right here to my free gifts. That's the contract and the information. You can download that. Not only do you get the slide deck, you get all the information on there, plus the contracts as well that you can have. So go to getremotemillions.com, getremotemillions.com, and that is it. So unless there's any questions. All right, all the questions have been covered. Sounds good. So I will see you on the live trainings. I'll see you on the calls. I'll see you in the Facebook group. I'll see you on the coaching calls. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the future. God bless.